Okay, so that's the tow motor. Got the tow motor rear counterweight, the Yale counterweight. What's up with the tow motor is the hydraulic pump's out. And what was happening was they'd lift about 15, 20 times and it would just die. Like, it wouldn't lift anything, it wouldn't steer, it wouldn't do nothing. So, come to find out, the hydraulic pump was so worn out that even Everpack, which is a company I go to for rebuilding, didn't want to touch it. So, brand new pump is $2,800 from Tow Motor. So I got a new hose on it, new filters. Yeah, we got a bunch of engine work to do. And well, why the rear counterweight's off is because we figured that if we took the counterweight off, that we could get access to the hydraulic pump. Turns out we were wrong. But we had to clean this off anyway. So, yeah, that's what's going on with the tow motor. The Yale behind me were having issues with the belts rolling on it. I don't know if you could see it from there or there, but this side is tucked in on these two belts, and the outermost belts, the two sides, inner sides are tucked in, and this is what's happening, is they're rolling and they're cutting. They're actually doing that in the pulley, rolling upside down. So I did all the wiring in this, rebuilt the carb unit in the regulator unit, made this new filters, new trans fluid, new battery. Alternator was new about 3 months ago. That's when I replaced the belts on that, and that's when the first set of belts rolled over. I had to rewire the whole entire forklift from about the front of the transmission, which is at that battery charger there, all the way back. New oil filter. But yeah, there's new hose there, new hoses on this bitch all the way. The cylinder head's seeping oil. It's actually the head, not the valve cover. But yeah, we're gonna fix this today actually. But yeah, there's some here and there issues. How do you like this cylinder here? That's just lovely. That's the axle out of the tow motor. And yeah, you are reading that right. It's 2 5/8. These were broken, causing the axle to oscillate, and the wheels were chewed up by the frame back there, by the frame and the counterweight. And we had two huge cracks in here, there, and we had cracks here, and there's a big crack here, and a big crack here that my dad's gonna weld. And of course, while it's out, the linkage is gonna get shit tons of grease in it because it hasn't been greased yet. The Eagle, or the Eagle slash Caterpillar slash whatever you want to call it. It's actually built by Caterpillar. It's got a Perkins in it. Hydraulic pump's a cat. Transmission's a cat. What happened with this is the alternator was bad. There's the cat velvet drive. There's the air cleaner. There's the 4-cylinder Perkins. Non-turbo, propane powered. thing takes forever to fucking get started. What happened was the alternator dropped the rear bearing, and they told me that it was fine, it was fine, it was fine. It wasn't charging. They always had to jump start it. And the boss got pissed at me when me and my dad fixed it, and it took us 2 days to fix because we also put a new exhaust in it as well. The new exhaust took a day to put in because it was rattling and exhaust was leaking everywhere and all that bullshit. And I don't know if there's a brand new battery box in there. And when I say brand new, I mean my dad built it from scratch. And because the other one was like 1/8 inch, and what it does is it clips in there, and you push that bar down, and it swings out so that you could get access to your hydraulic filter. And anyway, this is the one that we need to look at. Still haven't got the seals yet for the cylinder. There it is. All finished. All painted. These are $25,000. It will lift that how it sits and still have enough ass in it to probably lift about 30,000. But yeah, we were gonna clean this up with put some weld in there, but our dickhead asswipe boss said no. But yeah, it's all painted. This is hollow. It's 1/2 inch with an I-beam across it, and this was just a fucking menagerie here. Yeah, it's got new belts. Radiator was redone. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it'll be good now. Let me go show you the counterweight we made for it. One of the stackables. Yeah, we had a big project that was underneath that roof. It was a $300,000 project. A company bought machines in Vista, and for aerospace parts we had to ship them to France. Anyway, the bottom one is the counterweight that we made. It still needs to be primered and painted. And ground a little bit. But yeah, we even got the angle where the radiator sits. Let's see, did it take, yeah, there it is. This, I don't know if I got video or pictures of this. This is 3/4 wide. This is 3/4 here by 2 inch tall. We originally put that in front of the radiator on the rigger lift, and because my boss told us to, and he came out, he looked at it, went back inside the office, came back out, looked at it, went back inside the office. Now mind you, it was $300 just for the steel alone. It was right here originally. This slope wasn't in here originally. It was straight in line right there where that weld is, or actually, sorry, right where that bolt is. Half of it was there, and it went, yeah, because when you come in with the forklift, it was designed so you don't stab it through the radiator, because the radiator before had forklift fork marks in it, where they had stabbed, previous owner had stabbed the radiator with the fork. And anyway, he came out, went inside about 6 different times. Mind you, the steel alone was $300. The time for my dad to weld it was $500 to $600, just in the time alone. To weld it, assemble it, weld it, and weld it in the machine. He came out and he said, "Take it out." And I was like, what? He goes, "Take it out. I don't like the way it looks. Take it out." And I told him, I said, "Now, you need to think about this. This cost your company $300 for the steel, maximum of $600 in my dad's time. There's almost $1,000 right there." And he said, "I don't care, you need to take it out." So took my dad 3 hours to cut it out. That's, let's see, that's another $150 in my dad's time. And yeah, just fucking ridiculous. I mean, this guy's just wishy-washy. He's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But that's the update on work. So got a truck back there, truck up over there. That one needed an alternator the other day. Yeah, this is a 304. No, 318 Dodge. The tow motor has a 304. This is a 318 propane powered Dodge. And I had to laugh. When we got the radiator done the first time, the fan was wobbling a little bit like that. And I told him, I said, "While the radiator's out, let's put a new fan in it. I'll go get a fan. You know, the radiator's going to be a couple days." He goes, "No, that costs too much money." So I'm like, okay, well, if I don't do it now, then the radiator, if I get the radiator, I'm going to have to put take the radiator back out if we don't do it now. And he goes, "Well, don't worry about it." So while we're welding on this and getting this all sorted out, he tells me that he wants the fan done. So I'm like, okay. So the fan is like, you can't even get a wrench in between the fan and the radiator to get the bolts out, let alone get the bolts out once you got them loose. So I pull the radiator out. He sees all the water all over the floor, all over the ground over there. Yeah, because I just ran water in it until I knew that it didn't leak, and then I was going to put coolant in it. And he goes, "Well, why'd you take the radiator out?" I said, "Well, you told me to take the fan out, so you have to take the radiator out in order to get the fan out." And then he proceeded to call me an idiot and tell me how stupid I was. So then I put the radiator back in, put the fan back on, put the radiator back in, and told him to take the fan out. And he sat there and he laughed. He's a little Vietnamese guy, about 5 feet tall. And he laughed. And I'm like, "What's wrong?" He goes, "I can't get it out." Well, why not? You told me to. You told me you can get it out. But anyway, air brakes. This thing, it's a fuck. It's supposed to be a Taylor. As you can see there, Taylor. What happened was a company in Canada named Riggerlift bought the Taylor forklift, completely stripped it down, did their own modifications to it, including the cylinder. And what this is for, and this and that, is a hydraulic boom that goes on the end of this. It's supposed to have a hydraulic up and down on the boom at the pivot point back here. There's a company down in Los Angeles that has the same forklift, little smaller, but basically the same design. They have up and down of course, back and forth, tilt back, tilt forward on the mast. But then they have a boom. You unslide the forks, you take these pins out, you pull up to the boom, you slide the pins in, and there's your boom. But yeah, they have one that has a full hydraulic up and down vertical, full hydraulic tilt on the boom, full hydraulic extend and retract on the boom, and a full hydraulic up and down on the winch on the boom. But anyway, that's the updates on work. Somebody's coming in the yard, so I'll see you guys later.